So, welcome back. Last module, we spent time mapping the landscape. You learned who your audiences were, where they spend their time online, and how the patron journey and the donor journey work differently. We talked about platform demographics and matched story types to funnel stages. That was the what and the where. This week, we get into the all-important how. Because knowing that LinkedIn is where your major donors spend time is useful. But knowing what to actually post there, what tone to use, what stories resonate, and what the platform rewards and what it buries, that is where strategy becomes execution. So today, we're going to go platform by platform. For each one, I want you to understand three things. First, what is this platform for strategically? Not what the platform says it's for, but what is it for your organization? Second, what story types work best here? Remember, what we're doing this semester is matching story types to organizations and to platforms. And third, what does good content actually look like on this platform for an arts organization? Let's start where the money is. LinkedIn. I know what you're thinking. LinkedIn is where you update your resume and endorse people for skills you've never seen them use. And yes, that's true. But here's what else is true. LinkedIn's user base is overwhelmingly professional, educated, and affluent. More than half of its users earn over $100,000 a year, at least in the US. These are people who serve on boards, people who make major gifts, people who run companies that sponsor galas. LinkedIn is the highest converting social media channel for nonprofits in terms of donor engagement. That's the data from LinkedIn's own donor engagement report with Classy. So when I say LinkedIn is the donor cultivation platform, I mean it. This is where you build the relationships that eventually lead to someone writing you that 5-figure check. Not while you sell tickets for Friday night. Now, here's the thing that most arts organizations get wrong about LinkedIn. They treat it like a press release board. They post their announcements, their award events, their season brochure, and their posts get like nothing. Maybe a few polite likes from other staff members. Why? Because LinkedIn's algorithm rewards people, not organizations. The platform was built around individual professional identities. A thoughtful, vulnerable post from your executive director about why she or he believes in your mission will outperform a polished organizational graphic 10-1. So the strategic move on LinkedIn is not to build a better organizational page. It is to help your leadership show up as real people. What types of stories work here? Founder stories. Founder stories work awesomely on LinkedIn. Tell the origin story. Tell the we almost did not make it story. Tell the here is why I devoted my career to this story. LinkedIn audiences love narrative, and they especially love narrative about commitment and resilience. Purpose stories also work well. Here's what we believe about the art's role in society. Here is why access to live performance matters for children who've never seen it. Posts that take a stand, that articulate values, and invite agreement from people who share those values. This is how you attract board prospects and corporate partners. One more practical note. LinkedIn newsletters. Have you ever heard of a LinkedIn newsletter? Well, now you have. LinkedIn newsletters are underused by nonprofits. If your executive director writes a monthly newsletter on LinkedIn, it goes directly to subscribers' inboxes, free, no email platform needed, and it positions your organization and your executive director as a thought leader in the sector. Now let's move on to Instagram. This is where arts organizations have a structural advantage over most every other nonprofit sector. You make things that are visually stunning. You create experiences that people want to photograph and share. The challenge is not creating content, because you've got things to create content with. It's about being strategic with it. We will articulate it clearly this time. Let me give you 3 shifts to make in how you think about Instagram. First, think about formats, not just images. Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app. It's a multimedia platform. Reels, short videos, are what the algorithm pushes. Carousel posts, where you swipe through multiple images, generate the highest engagement. Stories give you a casual, ephemeral space for a daily connection. Static single image posts still have a place, but they are not what's driving growth. For arts organization, this means that a beautiful photograph of your gallery is good. A reel showing the gallery being installed with a voiceover from the curator about why these works matter is better. A carousel that walks someone through the 5 pieces you cannot miss and why, that is even better. Second, behind-the-scenes content is not a bonus, it's a strategy. People follow the arts organizations on Instagram because they want access. They want to see what happens before the curtain goes up. They want to watch the paint dry, literally. Rehearsal footage, set construction time lapses, an artist at 2 a.m. making changes nobody will notice but them. This content builds the kind of emotional investment that turns a casual follower into a ticket buyer. Third, don't feel like you need a professional photographer for everything. In 2025, 2026, and hopefully onward, authenticity outperforms polish on Instagram. A slightly shaky photo video of a dress rehearsal, that would be a slightly shaky phone video of a dress rehearsal with genuine energy will outperform a perfectly lit, perfectly composed image that feels like an advertisement. Authenticity works, and this is good news for you guys who have limited resources. So what kind of stories work on Instagram? Well, customer stories are probably your strongest asset. A 15-second reel of a patron describing the moment that changed their evening. A carousel of photos from your education program with quotes from parents. Let your people be your marketing. Value stories also work on Instagram because you can show the transformation rather than just describing it. The empty stage becomes opening night. The blank wall becomes an exhibition. The nervous kid in rehearsal becomes the confident performer on stage. Visual before and after storytelling is here in its most elemental form. One big change to note, Instagram posts now appear in Google search results, at least some of the time. Not all of the time, but we're just going to pretend, right? Because we all pray it's going to get better. That means your captions matter for discoverability, not engagement. Write captions that include searchable terms. Behind the scenes at Lincoln Center will be found by people searching for Lincoln Center. Treat your captions like mini blogs, not afterthoughts. And we all know that captions are the way to go, that hashtags just don't cut it anymore. So write your captions thoughtfully. Okay, now Facebook. And I see people rolling their eyes because I've been answering the question, is Facebook relevant for the last, I swear to God, 15, 17 years? Facebook's death has been projected forever. And here's my honest answer. For your personal social life, probably not. For an arts nonprofit trying to reach its existing community of supporters, very much it is the case. Instagram's user base is older than Instagram's and more local. But these are your longtime subscriber. These are your reliable annual fund donors, the people who actually show up to your events. They might not be the most exciting audience to reach, but they are your base, and ignoring them because a platform is not cool anymore is a strategic mistake. Facebook's great strength for arts organization is its events feature. Facebook Events remains one of the most effective tools for driving attendance to live programs. When someone RSVPs to a Facebook event, their friends see it. That's organic reach you cannot replicate on any other platform. Community building is the other Facebook strength. Some organizations have created private Facebook groups for subscribers, members, or volunteers. These become spaces for deeper engagement than your public page can provide. The honest downside of Facebook is that organic reach is abysmal. The platform wants you to pay to be seen, so you have to pay to be seen. Budgeting for occasional boosted posts, especially for events and fundraising campaigns, is absolutely necessary. Story types on Facebook, customer stories work, as well as longer form posts. Facebook allows more text than Instagram, so you can tell a fuller story. Purpose stories reach your most mission-aligned audience, and founder stories are excellent during, anniversary or some milestone campaigns where they seem relevant. So now I'm going to switch, and I give this a disclaimer a million times in the class, which is that email is not a social media platform, but I need to spend a few minutes on it because I would be doing you all a disservice if I did not talk about it. Email is probably the most effective digital channel for nonprofit revenue, period, full stop. According to M+R benchmarks, email drives more online donations than any social media platform. Not close, not a little more, significantly more. Why? Because email's direct. You are in someone's inbox, not competing with their cousin's vacation photos. You own the list. No algorithm is deciding whether your message gets seen. And you can segment different messages for different audiences. Your first-time attendees get a different email than your 20-year subscriber. Your $50 donor gets a different ask than your $5,000 donor. The storytelling principle that we spent the first third of the class on, that we learned from Kendra Hall, applies just as much in email as anywhere else. The best fundraising emails are not just asks. They are stories with asks embedded in them. A value story about what the donor's gift made possible. Perfect. A customer story from someone whose life was changed by your programming. And then, at the bottom, will you help us create more moments like this? Email also integrates with everything else you do. Your Instagram post drives people to a landing page. Your LinkedIn article links them to your newsletter sign-up. Your Facebook event generates an email follow-up. Email is the connective tissue of your digital strategy. Now, I'm not testing you on email, right? There's not going to be any surprise pop quiz. But when you're building your platform strategy matrix this week, I want you to include it, because any platform strategy that ignores email really is just not complete. It's not going to work in the best way you need it to work. So, include email. A quick summary of all 4 platforms, right? Each has a strategic each has a strategic purpose. There it is. Preferred story types and a key strength. When building your platform strategy matrix, include all 4, even if you recommend that your organization deprioritizes 1 or 2. The strategic rationale for that decision is part of the assignment. Keep in mind that you can also use either YouTube or TikTok as one of your 4. I don't recommend doing both of them, but if you want to replace Facebook or Instagram with TikTok, Instagram with YouTube, maybe Facebook with YouTube or TikTok, right? I highly recommend it. I would prefer you not do LinkedIn or email, just because I think that, relatively speaking, you're more likely to have done marketing work on Instagram or Facebook, and you're less likely to have done it on LinkedIn or email. And I want you to understand what works about those platforms. So you're going to complete your platform strategy matrix. And when you're working on it, keep asking yourself, am I thinking like a strategist or am I thinking like a content creator? You are not a content creator. You are a strategist. You are the boss. The content creator works for you. The next presentation in this module covers content pillars and editorial planning, along with a walkthrough of the editorial content calendar template that you can use. It's one that I created. You don't have to use it. There are a million on the internet, but this one I think works well with the class, so I'm giving it to you. Anyhow, I shall see you in the next lecture.